Hey, Roger, what's going on, my man?
What's up,
Hey,
Roger?
what's going on, guys? How are you?
Very good. And yourself?
Good, man. Good. Very good.
Hey, man, really appreciate the time to come on the show. Big fan of you, and we heard a lot of things that you're an MMA fan, friends with Frankie Edgar. So we wanna try to get into your mind. You know, everybody knows you from the Jersey Shore, but we want to get to know the other Roger, the Roger Mathews, that's a big fan of MMA.
Sure. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so pretty much we really want to start off is how long have you been a fight fan, and what type of style of combat sports did you first get into?
Honestly, I go back to UFC 1, man. I mean, all the way back to Shamrock and Tank Abbott, and, Keno and all those guys. I mean, I went way back. I don't think I missed one for a long time, but back then, in those days, they would fight you'd see just a couple fights a year really was all it was. And then, they went through that period in the 80s where they almost got shut down. And, I've been there from the beginning,
Wow, man, that's awesome to hear that you've been a fight fan from day one. That's the best thing that we probably could have heard of all day.
Yeah, I was never really into traditional sports, and that kind of holds true today. I don't know what it is that it just doesn't, it's not fascinating to me. Baseball, I respect those guys, and I'm friends with some of those guys, and they're athletes, no question about it, but to me, it just doesn't have the wow factor where I'm like really into it. I can watch football. I mean, I can get into football a little bit. It's a contact sport, but to me, there's nothing like MMA. There's just nothing like it on the planet as far as the excitement factor goes,
Oh, man.
Hey, Roger. This is Chris, the other co-host from the podcast.
Chris,
Just wondering. Hey, what's up, my man? Just wondering, Roger. First of all, I completely agree with what you just said. I come from a family where everyone loves hockey, especially living in Montreal, and I've never been able to get into other sports. It's just always combat sports has always been there for me since the beginning. It really does have the wow factor. I was just wondering, on UFC 244 this Saturday with Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal in the main event, really big fight in NYC. What are your thoughts on that main event?
So, I've talked about this a lot with friends and even Frankie, and I'm a fan of both of those guys. And it's true what they're calling it. It's the baddest motherfucker on the planet title.
Yeah, that's right.
It really is. I mean, those two are bad motherfuckers. It could go either way. I really like them both as fighters. Definitely did. I have the ESPN app, so I can, but I pretty much have my kids every weekend now, so I don't get to watch as many as I used to, but I always watch the highlights the next day. First thing I do in the morning if there's, a big UFC fight the night before, is start searching the highlights the next morning. So I don't miss a lot, but I don't actually, stay up as much as I used to till 1 o'clock in the morning watching.
For sure. All right, yeah. Go ahead.
Man, it's an amazing thing that you're a fan, and I think a lot of people kind of take away from that. Obviously, you're known for the Jersey Shore, and obviously looking at you, Roger, honestly, you're a monster. We see you, man, you're huge, but I'm pretty sure you could, if you get somebody in a rear naked choke, I think not only would you pass out, they might die. So I need to know,
man. I'm a realist, though, bro. I just tell it like it is. I'm a realist. Now, listen, I'm no pushover. I'm a big dude. I'm 250 pounds. I lift weights or whatever, but it's a different world we live in now, man. And I think people are starting to understand it. A lot of, street fighters especially are starting to be like, hey, listen, man, I used to get bad as motherfucker around, but now everybody trains, there's so many people training now. It's not like it used to be. I wouldn't last, if you put me in a professional setting in a ring against a guy my size that was actually a trained MMA guy, I wouldn't last a minute. I wouldn't. It's the truth of it. I mean, I'm a big dude. But that doesn't mean I'm a pussy. Can I say that on the show?
Yeah,
whatever you want.
You can say whatever you want, man.
The bar fight went down, and it was, legitimate, and there was actually a reason to be in the fight, which I find few and far between these days. I'm a dad now. I'm much more reserved than I used to be. I mean, I still mix it up, you know what I mean? Because, a bar fight's completely different than a MMA, than a actual commissioned fight. It's night and day. But my fighting days are over, man. I'm 44. I'm a dad now. Unfortunately, I think that I trained with Frankie a little bit way back. We used to train this place called Barn in Jackson, and it was Steve Rivera, who's like a legendary wrestling coach. It was his place. It was literally in the backyard of his house with horses and shit, so they called it the Barn. And I trained a little bit, but I don't have the pedigree. I grew up in a tiny little town in Maine. There was no wrestling in my high school. There was really, I mean, the only guy that you guys would have heard of that grew up in a town very close to me, and we were actually friends growing up, is Tim Sylvia. You know,
Oh my God.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he was the heavyweight UFC holder for a while, man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He was. And I think he's still doing some sort of fighting. I think he had fought in some sort of boxing league a couple of years ago against
He hasn't done it
weightlifter.
in a while. He's pretty successful in his own right. He's a business owner out in Ohio, Idaho, wherever he's living now. And
I think Idaho, yeah.
Yeah, does roofing now. Is pretty successful in his own right, but I think he's steered away from the fight game.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, well, like looking at you and looking at the physique, like you said, you're lifting weights. You used to spar with Frankie Edgar. You obviously New Jersey, like I got family from there. Shout out to New Jersey Patterson. Got some family out there. And I just want to know, from New Jersey, you have a lot of people. You have Marlon Moraes, you have Edson Barboza that trains there, Frankie Edgar, Eddie Alvarez. You have so many top-tier guys from New Jersey. Does that make you proud that you come from kind of a fighting city now that's getting the recognition that it should have gotten a long time ago?
Yeah, definitely some big names from this area, but Frankie's really the OG. He's the big dog that's really from here. A lot of those guys were brought. Marlon came in, Edson came in. I think both those guys stayed with Frankie Edgar's wife's dad for a little bit. I mean, they were actually living with him. There's some rumors about some. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it or not, but I think he spoke about it. I think Cody Garbrandt has openly talked about coming out here and training. And
oh, nice! I didn't know that.
Cody and I, yeah, we're friendly, so it'll be a nice switch up for him. And that's what you got to do, man. You got to, when you're in that MMA world, you got to just keep training, keep chasing the best gyms around.
That's it.
No, for sure. And as of now, are you training with Frankie from time to time? I know you said you're getting older. You have a lot of responsibility as a father.
No, not at all.
It's over.
Yeah, those days are over, man. I haven't trained in a long time. I'm a little fluffy now. I'm getting back into it. It was a rough year for me here, but I took a little time off the gym, but I'm getting back in shape. So, no, as far as MMA goes, I haven't trained in years.
Okay. Roger, just switch gears a little bit. On the topic of, you had said being a father and everything, and how times it's been a little tough year. Being honest, I was really pissed off the other day reading all that Halloween costume fiasco bullshit. How soft has our society become that children's Halloween costumes even become the topic of people trying, I'm emphasizing the word trying to shame you here. It's really disgusting, and how soft the society has become.
I think you can only let people shame you. It's up to you. That's a personal choice. If you're going to let people shame you, it's just going to happen. I just don't let them shame me. I mean, I
see that.
I'm a good dad. I don't think that I'm the best dad that ever lived by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think that person exists, but I think I'm constantly learning and constantly trying to do the best for my kids. Now, maybe in those people's household, and by the way, I just heard that made them feud today. Someone told me. I can't even believe that.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yeah.
It's the world we live in.
I know, man, and I don't want to rip on anybody. I don't want to sit here and start calling people pussies and stuff, but what I do in my house is the best I can do. It may not be what you do in your house, but I'm not going to weigh in. I don't think I've ever got on somebody's social media, ever, truly, and weighed in negatively on what they do. They have the right to live there, short of, neglect and, maybe sending their kids out in a cold barefoot or something. I don't see the need to comment. It's a fake pop cigarette.
Exactly.
You can buy in a toy store that is cotton filled. It's actually better for you than a candy cigarette, which we all probably used to smoke when we were kids. I did.
Exactly, the little white ones.
But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure.
Smoke and stuff. So I don't get it. I don't see it. We do live in a very sensitive, overly sensitive world, and people are going to feel how they feel, and they're entitled to it. I'm a big supporter of the First Amendment, and weigh in, and you can say whatever you want. It's not going to change anything for me. I'm not changing for anybody but my children, and what I think is the right thing to do for myself. I have to get up in the morning and look at the man in the mirror, not those people. So.
Yeah, no, I think you said that perfectly, and it seems like these days, every week, every day, even every hour, there's something new in the news, a new trigger word. I think social media has a field day with all this stuff, and
it's the downfall of our country. It really is. It's the downfall of our country. Is I always say, above and beyond my feelings politically or religiously or I'm a humanitarian above all that. I think that all of us, I don't care your race, your gender, your sex, we all are equal. We all have equal rights. But you don't get special rights. You don't get, we got away from that. We got away from segregation and segregating people and safe spaces and all that. Going back to that is not helping anybody. We're all, you're not going to find a law or a bylaw on the books anywhere that persecute anybody more than another person because of race, color, or religion. It just doesn't exist in America anymore now. It's mind-blowing to me how sensitive people are,
No,
the haters are going to hate.
No,
right.
They're always going to hate, man. And Roger, the thing that kind of like what I appreciate most about you is that, like you said, you can't really judge a book by its cover. And looking at you, like you said, you're 250 pounds, you're over 6'3", you got full of tats, and you're just a very knowledgeable guy. You're articulate. You're very easygoing, and like you said, like I really don't want to talk about it, but a lot of people want to hear. The last year you had was extremely rough. I feel for you. I feel for Jenny. I feel for your children. I hope everything is going to be better. You guys move past it. But the way that you went about it, that you say that you respect her, you respect your relationship, that takes a lot from anybody it takes a lot for somebody to have children with somebody and then to move on and then to support it. That's a big shout out to you, man. I think a lot of people should appreciate the type of person that you are.
Hey, listen, we did the mudslinging thing for a bit, and I think what people have to remember, or not, it's up to you. Feel about it however you want. A lot of people think that I'm this monster, and they're entitled to feel that way. Is you spend a decade almost with somebody, and you have 2 children, and then it doesn't work out, and you get into a custody battle and divorce and all that. Emotions run extremely high, and unfortunately, I don't think either one of us handled it correctly. We just didn't. I mean, that's just, but when you live your life in the public eye, it gets weighed out in the court of public opinion, So it was unfortunate, and I feel, obviously, badly about some things, but I think I learned as quickly as I could on the Roger learning curve that I wasn't going about it the right way, and I tried to modify that and change that, and I really tried to do a lot of self-help for myself to get myself in a better state of mind, in a better place. Because if you're not growing, you're just falling behind. You know what I mean? And I think I owed it to my kids and myself to pick up the pieces. Because I got kind of massacred. He's got a much bigger audience than I do. And she fucking came at me guns blazing. And it is what it is. I mean, I'm good. I had to get up, like I said, and look at the man in the mirror. And I like the guy in the mirror. And I do the best I can do as a father and as a human. And it was just unfortunate that it played out like that, and I take my responsibility in that. But I'm not going back to it. I'm never going back to it. I'm not going back to mudslinging. I truly, honestly wish Jenny the best. I absolutely do. I think we co-parent pretty well together. I would like to be her friend. I mean, I don't think I've said anything derogatory about Jenny in quite a long time, and I have no intentions of ever going down that road again. And I truly wish her well and the best. Listen, you can change some things in life, and there's some things you can't change. People break up a lot. It happens, right? People fall out of love. It happens. It's a part of life. Everybody's had heartbreak in their life, and it happens. What the constant is children. They are forever going to be my children and forever going to be her children, and we should put our best foot forward for them. We got off to a bad start, but things have gotten significantly better, and I hope they just continue to get better and better and better. You know what I mean?
Man, that's just an amazing thing for you to hear about it, and you guys are supporting. I hope you guys remain friends. You guys are amazing parents. I definitely support you in every way. And us here at 2.5 Fighters, we love you. We hope the best for you and your family, and we'll always support you.
All right, Roger. We just go ahead.
No, go.
Okay, we just have we do a little segment here on 2.5 Fighters called Lightning Round, where we just ask quick questions that are really random, just fun, easygoing questions. So I'll get started with the first one. Mel's will go one each.
Let's go.
All right, Roger, first very important question. Everyone wants to know, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food?
Last meal of your life.
Last meal of my life is either going to be sushi or pizza. I'm going to go with pizza.
Beautiful.
Number 2, favorite fighter. I think we know who it is, but we got to just say it. We just got to ask.
Well, clearly, Frank Yeager, but Dan Henderson is right there with him, man. I've been a Dan Henderson fan since day. I love Dan Henderson, bro. The fucking H-bomb, there ain't nothing better than the H-bomb.
Baby.
Puts anyone to sleep. Question 3, which was similar to the second one. There's talks of this Frankie Edgar versus Conor McGregor fight. He wanted to go down. Dana says might not happen, but you never know at the UFC, especially after Mayweather and Conor. Who takes that fight? Your boy Frankie or Conor McGregor?
You think I'm ever picking against Frankie or not? I would never pick against Frankie. But, listen, Dana said a lot of things over there. He said women would never fight in the UFC. He said a lot of things, and I like Dana. I've met Dana a ton of times. Great guy. But, listen, the fans are the ones that make the fight. You know what I mean? Obviously, you can't be ranked 150th and fight the top guy.
Of course.
But, when you guys got guys that are close in ranking, they are, fans make fights. So if the fans want to see that fight, they'll make it happen. So let's keep the momentum going and hope it does happen, because that would be an amazing fight.
Amazing. I agree. All right, next.
Question 4. If Ronnie and Paulie get into a fight, who do you put your money on?
Man, I got no beef with any of those guys. You guys better not start no beef.
No beef. Just random question.
I think if I had to call it, I'd say Ronnie is pretty tough. He's a scrapper. I say he punches Paulie. Paulie ducks it. Ronnie hits Paulie in the top of the head and it breaks his hand with that haircut.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
The blowout. The Paulie blowout breaks Ronnie's hand.
You should be a commentator, Roger. All right, next one. What will your costume be for Halloween?
Oh, I just don't know it yet, but I'm going to be Pennywise, but I'm not going to put the mask on until they get really, accustomed and probably all the sensitive Sallies of the world are going to go nuts again. But, I'm going to be Pennywise. They have no idea who it is, so to them it'll just be a clown.
That's it.
Face, but Grayson wouldn't be scared of it at all. If I jumped out of the attic and had, my head turned on backwards, he would just be like, "Hey, what's up?" But I'll ease Milani into it. I would never scare my kids ever,
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we got 2 more here. Number 7. What is your favorite horror movie of all time?
God, we were just talking about It. I don't know. When I was a kid, It scared the crap out of me. I mean,
me too.
Freddy Krueger, Jason, It. I'd probably go with It, man. That was a good one.
Mm.
The original.
Yeah, the original, not the newer one.
I was scared as fuck.
And the last question, going off from movies, have you seen the new Joker, and what are your thoughts on it?
I did, and it had such hype behind it, and then it seemed to get downplayed, and people said it dragged on. It was slow. I think it was some of the best acting that anybody's ever done for the Joker, short of Heath Ledger. I mean, Heath Ledger probably did it better, but other than Heath, just incredible acting. Every action movie does not have to be non-stop.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yes, and there was a great build up there to the character. I think it sort of prefaces maybe another one coming out, and I
hope so.
Excellent acting.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you on that one. I think maybe Heath did do it better, but I still think he was the first one also before in the new era. But I do really agree that Joaquin Phoenix was pretty top notch in that one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Well, Roger, man, I need to thank you from the bottom of our hearts here at 2.5 Fighters. We thank you for coming
Roger.
on the show. Thank you for taking the time. And, man, we support you 100%. If ever time that you think about joining the UFC just for one fun fight, man, let us know.
We'll break it down.
We'll definitely break it down, man. We got your back, Roger. Anything you need, we're here.
Me and Tim for bring it back to Maine,
That's it. UFC 500.
Real quick, I just wanted to say, Frankie and I, we've been kicking the idea around of our own podcast for quite some time, and actually make it happen. We don't have a date yet, but definitely before the new year, we'll have our own podcast up. It's going to be called The Tramp. I don't think you have to guess who the Champ is and who the Tramp is. Yeah, we're very excited about it, and Frankie picked that name, so I'm rolling with it, and I'm going to be the Tramp, which, hey, I'm single now. Might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, good job. Nice name.
Hey, man,
No,
we're
Frankie, great name.
We're definitely going to promote that podcast.
We will.
We're going to support it till the death of us, and man, definitely we should even do something. Us five, man. We'll talk about that in the near future, but we're definitely going to promote your podcast, big brother.
Much respect, boys. Appreciate you having me on.
Man,
Thanks, Roger.
Have a great day, brother.
Take care, bro.
Take care, boys. Take care.